Amitabha. Before we begin, let us pay respect, pay homage to His Holiness, Grandmaster, Living Buddha, Xianyin Lu. Pay respect and homage to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Dharma protectors, past, present, and future in 10 directions. Pay homage to lineage masters of the True Buddha School. And then may the Guru bless me to share with you the book number 163, Crossing the Ocean of Life and Death, the most important event of our lives. Fellow masters, reverends, Dharma practitioners, everybody, good afternoon. Amitabha. It's an honor and privilege to be here and sharing the book with you. I'm still learning as well all those teachings by Grandmaster. And I want to choose this book because I believe it is the most important book. However, there are many books of Grandmaster. They are all important, depending what you want in life. We all have problems in our lives, and we all have solutions to the problems. However, the death is something we dare not to talk about, because I know it's a Chinese superstition. You don't talk about death in Chinese New Year. You don't talk about death at any times in general. So in our Buddhism, the teaching of death is a very important lesson in our lives. And I remember when I was a child, and back in 1968, the first death I ever saw was my grandfather's funeral in Hong Kong. At that time, I was only 9 years old. I have no idea what it is all about, but I saw people crying, desperation, upset. And at the time, I was playing around in the funeral home, jumping around as if there's a party going on. But at that time, I was scolded, and they said, settle down, and you sit still. So therefore, my impression of death was just very morbid after that. I want to use this book to share with you today. Before I begin, I want to share with you the type of death fears that we all face in life. It is possible to break down the general fear of death in several specific types of fears. First of all, the fear of pain and suffering. Many people fear that when they meet death, they will experience excruciating pain and suffering. This fear is common in many healthy people, as well as in patients dying of cancer and some other terminal illnesses or diseases. And fear of unknown. Death remains the ultimate unknown because no one in human history has survived it to tell us what really happens after we died. It is human nature to want to understand or make sense of the world around us. But death can never be fully understood by anyone living. However, by Grandmaster's teaching, you see later on when we go through the book, you will see he will know how to solve this problem. And then the fear of non-existence. Many people fear the idea they will completely cease to exist after death occurs, while you may suspect that this fear is limited to atheists or others without personal spiritual or religious beliefs. The truth is that many people of faith also worry that the belief in the afterlife isn't real after all, or that they did not earn the eternal life while alive. The fear of eternal punishment. Similar to fear of non-existence above, this belief does not apply only to devout believers of religious or spiritual faith. Many people, regardless of their religious persuasions, And even those with no religious or spiritual beliefs at all fear that they may be punished for what they did or did not do while they are on earth. Fear of lost control. Human nature generally seeks to control the situation we encounter, but death remains something over which we have absolute no control. This frightens us, who will attempt to exert some form of control over death by behaving in extreme careful manner to avoid risk or undergoing rigorous frequent health checks, for instance. The thing is, I think the death is something we have to face, even though we may not like to see it. I remember saying, everybody likes to go to heaven or paradise, but nobody wants to die to go there. But the thing is, today we want to share Grandmaster's the holy teaching regarding death. Last night, if you study or went to the Saturday evening cultivation in Seattle Lian Temple, he's talked about when he was in retreat, he had this terrible headache that he suffered so much, and then he didn't want to go live. And that's what the book is all about. The cause of this book, by writing this book, is sharing death, how to face death, how to not conquer death, but accepting it and using it to our advantage. So if you have the books, turn on the books, turn to the pages. Before I turn the pages, in the internet, the TrueBuddhaBoye.com has a different version, or may I say the printing. There are different chapters, but we have this book will be a different chapters. So it's because when the first chapter is preface, but according to this book, is number 1. In our internet is no chapter 1, is preface. So chapter 1 is actually chapter 2 in this book. So just to be aware, when we go through the books, you know what it is. And another one, if you have iPad or iPhone, reading this book, you can go to reader mode, so that eliminate all those brick that doesn't look good on the web page. So when you hit the reader mode, you will see that it will very clear the format is perfectly formatted. However, in the website, there's a little glitch that is not able to read it very plainly, so to speak. So if you have iPad and iPhone, you can use that to read it. Let's turn to the page. In this book, it's called page 2, Guan Yin's Word. Let's go through that page. You see Guan Yin and talk to Grandmaster in a spiritual form. It says, I ask, do you see that now? Will people believe what I write? And then the Bodhisattva Guan Yin replied, these are not superstitions. Everyone dies, and there's no exception to this fact. Death is a realistic issue that is anything but superstitious. Yet the world does not end with death. Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, and other esoteric teaching all recognize the fact that there's a world beyond death which can be verified, and that the world of spirits does indeed exist. We want you to write about it, and we want you to experience it firsthand. So Grandmaster, being his living Buddha, has experienced many lives, and using his experiences to share with us this particular book. So right now we go through the Guan Yin and then the Grandmaster's splitting headache. The reason for this book again is because Grandmaster had a splitting headache. He wanted to share with the world what pain and suffering is all about, and avoid those suffering, and by using the teaching in this book.
Okay, now we're going to page 4. Page 18 and 19 in this book, which is in chapter 4 in the foyer. It talks about Grandmaster being a precious treasure. You see that said? Those who read this book will discover that living Buddha Lian, is a treasure. You read that? You got that? The most precious supreme treasure in this Sahara world, in an immense lamp universally illuminating this world, and whose light is infinite. An illuminant lamp driving away ignorance and darkness of the 3 lower realms. A holy sage, one who possesses all Dharma's treasures. A true Buddha, a Tathagata who has attained an excelled perfect enlightenment. So we know this. In order to write this book, you have to be above the precious treasure. So we so fortunate to have taken refuge of the Grandmaster, to have this treasure in our palm of our hands. But you have to use it. Now it's time to use it, to apply to our daily lives. And we go to page 27 on this book, and it's under chapter 6. Really, right this point, it talks about practice diligently. You know, Padmasambhava, Guru Rinpoche, have said that before his passing, went to the Western Paradise. He says, honor the Guru, treasure the Dharma, and practice diligently. And then, just Grandmasters have written, we have to practice diligently. In fact, today, we are here for what reason? To practice diligently, to honor the Guru, treasure this Dharma of to this afternoon, Akasagarbha, fire offering, and then practice diligently with Grandmaster's holy teaching. So on the page 27, and it talks about the 3 roots. What is the 3 roots? The root Guru, which is our Holiness Grandmaster, Seninu. Your personal deity, or Idam, Y-I-D-A-M, and then your root Dharma protectors. You see, it says, I personally feel that the 3 roots of Vajrayana are vitally important. The Guru is the main holder of all Dharma. The personal deity is the self-nature of the practitioner. And the Dharma protector is the guardian of the human world. Nowadays, recently I just noticed in the 2 days I got here on Thursday night, and a lot of people complain that they have this spiritual attached to the body and not feeling too well by XX. Right now, it's time to practice using the Grandmaster's teaching on your own. Don't rely on Grandmaster everything. Once you teach Dharma, you have to do your own. Practice diligently, chant as much as you can. Of course, with Grandmaster's blessing, you have to do your own homework. That is, do your Dharma protectors mantra as much as possible. So it doesn't have to bother Grandmaster so much at all the time. That's something we need as a student, to do our own homework. And that's important to say that right here. All 3 are so vitally important that one of them cannot be missing. That's the most important Tantrayana or Vajrayana. Remember that. Okay? So I'm not going to go through all the books, but I believe in more important passages or teaching is important. So right now, let's leave that go to chapter 13 on page 70. Oh, I'm sorry, this book is chapter 14, but in the internet, the foyer is chapter 13, and we go to the Mara. page 70. What if you practice so much and then you see Buddha coming? And then someone will ask, if Mara, or Mara, it depends how you pronounce it, manifests itself as the Buddha to receive us, what happened? What do I do? You see the passage? Yeah. My reply to him or her was to recite the mantra Om Guru Lian Sang Siddhi Hum 3 times. If the Buddha is real, his light will grow brighter. If the Buddha is a manifestation of the Mara, he will disappear. That's a very important lesson here. So very important that you need to know that. And then on page 78 of this book, again, it talks about 6 refuge. Isn't it 4 refuge? Why is it 6 refuge? Grandmaster said on page 78 of this book, Namo Guru Be, I take refuge in the root Guru, that we all know. Namo Buddhaye, I take refuge of the Buddha. Namo Dhammoye, I take refuge in the Buddha Dhamma. Namo Sankhaye, I take refuge of Holy Sage. We repeat every day. But there's 2 more. That's why I talked about earlier, root gurus, the 3 roots. Namo Idam, I take refuge in all the idams and deities of affinity. You have affinity to Akasakapa, you take refuge in that. You take refuge of Guan Yin or Avalokitesvara, your personal deity. Then you take refuge in the Guan Yin. That's what the 5th is all about. And then your root Dhamma protectors. Namo Dhamma Palas, that take refuge in the protectors of sentient beings. So right now, the Dhamma protectors are very important in a human realm. That is basically your success, your protection at all times. It is equivalent to Judeo-Christian like guardian angels, if I can recreate that. Look after you at all times. So we need that. Not only the Grandmaster's teaching, you think of them all the time, of course, but you always think about protection. Let's say I drive the car to Oregon this afternoon. I will ask the protector to protect me with hopefully no traffic and also hopefully no accident. We pray for that. The Dhamma protectors protect us, and we need to take refuge in them. Now go through, skip. Remember, I'm not here to read the books to you. I'm here to suggest the book to you and read it on your own. And read it carefully, because you'll miss a point and you're going to be sorry. You don't want to be sorry. So let's do it very carefully at home, reading this book, or reading it in the internet in tbboyeh.com. The next one we talk about on page 90 of this book, which is no crying on the deathbed. We all have death either in a family or see death outside our family. We feel painful. We feel so sorrowful. We feel lost. But the Grandmaster said, do not cry if you can. I know it's important to show your emotions and also show the respect during a funeral service or maybe attending a funeral service. But the most important aspect of the Grandmaster's teaching is that we do not want to do this in affecting people. That is the person who just passed on. Because at that time, this chapter is about talking to the death, the people in the deathbed. And then we look at the line where there's a lotus practitioner. He talked about someone whose loved one in front of you who already passed on, and talk to him directly, or him or her. So lotus practitioner, everyone dies. You see the passage? Life always, almost end of the chapter. Life always meets the death one day. Crave this broken bodily form no more. There is no way you can remain on earth, even you cannot bear to leave. Go now, go. Stop lingering in this world. Otherwise, it will drive you into endless cycle of birth and rebirth, gaining nothing in return, or indeed, focus your mind on the triple jewels and the three roots. Dedicate your merits instantly. May all who uphold the name of Amitabha Buddha be reborn together in the pure land of his Western paradise. As Grandma said, always said, happy Buddha country. Repaying the fourfold generosity from above, enabling those who suffer in the three paths below. Upon seeing the Buddha, may I be liberated from the cycle of birth and death, and may I develop the qualities of Buddhahood and thus free all who suffer. We will meet again at the Maha-Triple Double Lotus Pond in the Western paradise of ultimate bliss. So, again, it says, do not cry. And the earlier part says, cry. If we want to go back there, it says, the main point I'm trying to say is always to cry, but we should not wail and mourn in distress. We should always control, concentrate. That's why we have practice. Again, when I asked grandmasters taught us to practice every day, honestly speaking, the practice itself is how to get out of here, how to end your life. If you remember, at the beginning of practice, we have evocation mantra, purification mantra, until completion mantra. Everything in between, reading sutra, Avalokitesvara Sutra, True Buddha Sutra, Guru Yoga, for preliminaries, they ask us to focus to be merged with the Buddha. Every day we practice death, if you think about it. While we are joining the fire puja today, we visualize to be with deity and the fire together. What is it really like? It's cremation. Every time we practice fire offering, we practice cremation. You think about it. So do not cry. Do not feel upset. Oh my God, I feel coming home, I'm dead. No. One day you will use it. Not be afraid. That's most important. The fear I mentioned earlier is a counter fear. No more fearful. No more fear. Anything. Phobia is fear in the technical Latin term. If you fear of funeral home, fear of cemeteries, it's necrophobia. Necro, N-E-C-R-O. If you fear of death itself, it's thanatophobia. I guess you know all that. But one more thing. When we die, after we cremate it, do you decide where you want to be buried? Not to advertise anything, we have Rainbow Temple in the back with columbarium. You know columbarium is what we're building in the back. The technical term is called columbarium. We're building it. And I'm the first one, I believe, I think, already paid my share, paid my earned, paid my spot. I already first registered to just share with you. That's something I did. Everybody has to be prepared every day. Death doesn't come in a certain time. It comes in any time, any day, anywhere. So we should all know that. Mindfulness of impermanence. That's something we all have to think about. Going back to the next chapter, right here, is chapter 19 now, and the TB Boyer is 18. On this page, it's 95 to 98. Talk about it. Do not enter those rebirths. It's very important now. Everybody, please listen up. A ghost finding another ghost. That's the main topic. I know there's a whole chapter, but I want to show you. They will try to frighten you. Actually, these ghosts are not something outside somewhere else. It's actually our inner demon. What we have done in this life, it turns to a ghost who scare you. Remember, we have believed in law of karma, cause and effect. The more you create bad karma, the more you have guilt feeling. Those guilt feelings are the one that are karma inside your registration, your memories. We call them, in the technical terms, in the modern days, your hard disk. It's inside of you. So when we pass on, when we die, those things come back, appearing in the different forms of ghosts. And you think about it, in the Grandmaster's books, it's right there in page. You must never, I'm sorry, it's 94 on this page. You must never be fearful when you're in the realm of the bottle spirit, even if horrifying, enormous, and ferocious ghosts appear before you. You must recognize the following. It's very important. It's on early part of the. Those ferocious ghosts are deliberately trying to frighten you. Number two, they are merely a reflection of your own consciousness. That's what I mentioned earlier. Your guilt feeling, your own consciousness. Ghosts are just an illusion. It's a mirror of your joy and anger, your karma, and of course, your past sins. This is a test of the strength of meditative stability. Your meditative stability is also in your dreams. We all dream. If you dream you can control your dreams, then you're meditatively stable. But let's say you cannot control your dreams, you're not in a meditative stable. So we need to do that. Grandmasters has said many times, our dreams are little deaths. So by controlling your dreams, you're controlling your death. Eventually, when we really have to go, we're in control. It is a set of strength and meditative stability. 6, you should ignore the ferocious ghosts, even they collectively create a sound of 1,000 thunderclaps. You should be unafraid and fearless of ghosts. You should remind yourself that you are already dead and no ghost could possibly hurt you because they are just illusions. Going very quickly, besides the phenomenon of one ghost finding another ghost, whatever you are most afraid of may be reflected and projected through your state of consciousness. Remember, these frightening images are nothing more than a reflection of your own mind. At this point, everything hinges on meditative strength and wisdom of the deceased. And this, depending, fellow Dharma practitioners, that's what we said you have to practice every day. And then the page 99 of this book, going forward, is because on the beginning of chapter, the Vajrayana teachings are distinguished from aggregate. You should avoid all those 6 kinds of light that will be reincarnation. Remember, everybody, we do not want to reincarnate. We want to be reborn in the happy paradise, the Western paradise. So if you see any light or very faint white light that's in heaven, we don't want to go there. Even though we might go there, depending on the karma, but we don't want to go there. We want to go to a strong bright light like the sunlight today. The light of a human realm is a dim yellow light. The light of an asura is dim green light. A light of hell, which is a smoky, hazy, very grave light. The light of the hungry ghost is a dim red light. The light of the animal realm is a dim blue light. So we don't want to go there. We want to go to 5 strong, colorful. That's why Tibetan, all the tankas and all the decorations have 5 Buddha's light, which is very white, yellow, which is gold, green, blue, and red. Those are the things we need to focus on, those strong lights. Going to page 109, which is the GM vows to save us. Very important. Grandmaster, our Holiness Grandmaster, has promised us that when we chant Om Guru Ren Sang Siddhi Hum, your Guru and the personal deity are bound by the vows to save us. So the last sentence of that is important. I want to point that out. The last sentence, all the way down to the bottom. There you go, right there. So that's it. I want to mention that. That's important. His vow. 21, page 113 and 15, suitable places of body spirits. Let's say when we die, we want to go somewhere. There are 3 places important. That's very stressful, very important. The place where the root guru resides. The temples and monasteries. You come here every Sunday, good for us. We're here. We come here. Chapters and places where group cultivation take place. Wherever you're from. After we finish here, go back to the temple and chapters, local chapters, and group cultivation is important. And stupas and pagodas. Okay, you have Vishnesa Vajaya stupa at home, or you have the small, whatever. You have to go there. That's important. Let's say the Judgment Day. Go back to 121, sorry. 4th refuge mantra, the Judgment Day comes in. That's why 4th preliminary is very important. Even though we just chant, Namo Guru Be, Namo Buddhaye, Namo Dhammoye, Namo Sanghaye, you will not fall in the 3 lower paths below. And then I'm going to go to all the way to the end, chapter 31 to 34, and the internet will be 30 to 33, is caring for dying. Let's say, unfortunately, you have somebody, your friend or family pass on, what can you do for them? Of course, the first thing you do is fax or email or do whatever you can to Grandmaster here in Seattle, or maybe when he was in Taiwan, to go to fax it to Taiwan. And then you can ask local chapters or the masters, the monks, and nuns to do the 49 days of Bardo chanting deliverance. But most important, you can do, let's say they are not Buddhists. What do you do? Chant rebirth mantra. That's the least you can do. That's what Grandmaster taught us. You know what rebirth mantra, right? Yeah, good. So I want to finishing up the whole book. Remember, very important for you to read this book, understanding thoroughly what you need to be done. Before I end, I want to make a special acknowledgement for thanks to Grandmaster, the blessing for me to share with you this book, this very important book. Every book is important, but I believe personally that this book is important. It's applicable to our daily lives, especially to each and every one of us. Thanks to Grandmaster, pay respect, pay homage to my personal root deities, good Guru, Dharma protectors, and today's lineage masters. And again, I want to show appreciation of Rainbow Temple for letting me share with you. The Two Buddha translation team. I know it's very important for them to translate the books. And by the way, in September 16, they have 2 books is available for signing in the Rainbow Temple. If you can show that, yeah, thank you very much for showing in the internet. And thank you for everything, just basically. So may Buddha bless you with good fortune, good luck, and then the TBBOYEH.org. I'm sorry, made a mistake. It should be org, not com. Okay. So now that if you need anybody who would like to translate the books or who's able and willing to do so, volunteer work, please contact the above email, tbtds.article@gmail.com. We appreciate all the help we can get in propagating the Dharma teaching by His Holiness Grandmaster Sanyin Lu. And also, we appreciation of, in fact, we do have another website I want to share too, is tbsn.org. This website is the latest news and information that you need to know. Anything happening, the Grandmaster, let's say the Rainbow Temple has a website too, but it's, the whole world can use that. So again, I want to share with you, and thank you for your audienceship. Thank you for coming. Thank you for very much. May Buddha bless you. Thank you. Amitabha.